Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox. I would like to welcome you to the Sunday Book Review. The Sunday Book Review is the series where I discuss books which impact the compliance practitioner, the legal professional, and the business professional. I hope you will enjoy this episode. The Sunday Book Review is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network. First, a quick word from our sponsor. The Sunday Book Review for March 5, 2023, the Cambridge University Futures Edition. All of today's books were featured by Cambridge University. First up, Unwired, Gaining Control Over Addictive Technology by Gaia Bernstein. Our society has a tech problem. Many want to disconnect from screens but can't figure out how to do so. We spend more time online than ever. Unwired, Gaining Control Over Addictive Technology shows us a way out. Rather than blaming users, the book shatters the illusion that we autonomously choose to spend our lives online. It shifts moral responsibility and accountability to corporations. Groundbreaking and urgent, Unwired provides a blueprint to develop a movement for change that will allow people to regain control. Next up, You Can't Always Say What You Want, The Paradox of Free Speech by Dennis Barron. The freedom to think what you want and say what you want are perhaps not the same thing. However, they do raise a thorny question. To what extent does free speech actually endanger speech protection? This book examines today's call for speech legislation, places it in historical perspective, gives some examples to explain the context of laws regulating speech. Our freedom to speak has grown, but it is perhaps not, the legal framework has not evolved as fast as the technology. By understanding this situation, the author believes we can stand up to the threats to freedom of speech. Next up, No Miracles Needed by Mark Jacobson. The world needs to turn away from fossil fuel and use clean, renewable energy. Moving forward, failure to do so will continue to cause catastrophic climate damage and loss of biodiversity and causing, of course, greater economic instability. But we still have time to save the planet without resorting to miracle technologies, and we can use the technologies that currently exist to harness, store, and transmit energy from wind, water, solar to ensure reliable electricity, heat, and energy security. Find out how we can do so and what your role can be going forward. And finally, Bounce by Robert Wicks. This book introduces themes on post-traumatic growth and shows it's possible to bounce back from stress using resilience, but also under certain circumstances to actually evolve as a person and be ready to handle these situations as they move forward. It includes information on preparation and chapters on post-traumatic stress growth, seeing alone time as an opportunity for reflection, and anecdotes, and most importantly, stories on successful resolutions of this. I hope you will check out one or more of these books. The Cambridge University Press is one of the most interesting in the world, of course, from Cambridge University, so I'm not sure what else you would expect. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope you'll join us again next week on the Sunday Book Review, where we look at the University of North Carolina Press offerings. The Compliance Podcast Network was recently honored with several Communicator Awards for podcasts I know you will want to check out. Are you interested in Lyme disease? Well, check out Understanding Lyme Disease. And check out the Hill Country Podcast, where I look at the people, places, and things of the Texas Hill Country. I recently posted a new podcast series, The Big Empty, on 21st century economic issues facing the state of Texas, where together with author Lauren Steffi and using his book, The Big Empty, to introduce 5 key economic topics facing the state of Texas. It's a fusion of fiction and current fact that I know you will enjoy if you're a book reader, if you're an economist, or just a listener. And we actually have one more, which is the board's role in compliance, where I'm joined by my colleague Jonathan Mark, partner at Baker Tilly, where we look at the role of the board of directors in compliance, starting with the Caremark doctrine and carrying that forward, and answer questions on how a board can fulfill its obligations under a best practices compliance program. The Sunday Book Review is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.